Hello again and welcome back to Some Climbing News. We've got a lot to cover this week because I missed the last episode. Huge apologies for that. But we have Janja Garnbret in the news for two Onsights. Jernej Kruder sending one of the world's hardest trad lines, Bosi with more hard bouldering, as well as a look into his latest movie, Ondra flashing yet another 8B and more. So as always, sit back, relax, don't forget to like and subscribe for more of these dives into the climbing world. And yeah, let's do this. So, Andrew Nimmer, who the hell is this guy? Do you know him? Do I know him? Does anyone know him? About 1,000 followers on the gram. No one knows him. But then again, who cares about follower count? This isn't an influencer channel. This is a climbing channel. And a climber, Andrew Nimmer definitely is. Probably more than me, given what he's just done. Dude lives in Vegas. He's got 6 8C plus routes under his belt, which translates to 514C for all the Americans out there. And he just sent his first ever 9A plus / 515A. That's crazy. The guy skipped not just a grade, but 2. I love it when people do that. It's awesome. I haven't told you what route he did. Oops, my bad. It was Martial Law 9A plus out in Mount Charleston, Nevada, which if you don't really know where that is, it's a crag that's pretty close to Vegas. Actually, pretty sure that's where Honnold and Magnus did a video a while back. It's actually this one right here. But anyways, huge congrats to Andrew. Seems the guy really wanted to prove to himself that he could climb that hard. And I mean, look, doing 9A plus is, according to a lot of pros, much harder than climbing 8C boulders. So, you know, it's seriously impressive stuff. And I mean, just a few years ago, anyone that did 9A plus would probably be on the cover of magazines, would be sponsored out the wazoo, would be, you know, one of the more talked about climbers in the world. And now, I mean, I'm not saying it isn't hard. It is. I'm just saying it's insane to me how much the sport has progressed. Like, that doing something like this barely gets any attention beyond like me talking about it is crazy. And then let's talk about Bryce Viola, who's out in Squamish, or was just out in Squamish, and who has managed the second ascent of the Youngster's Roof, a relatively new Ethan Salvo first ascent that supposedly clocks in at 8C / V15. Now, I say supposedly because it seems Bryce has declined to comment on the grade, only saying that it's got that distinct Squamish style that he loves. And honestly, I mean, look, the guy sent a boulder that may or may not be 8C in about a week, which is pretty freaking solidly impressive for it being theoretically his first 8C ever. And I say theoretically because he's also done Kintsugi, which he downgraded from 8C to 8B, but then again, you know, at that point, most people were saying Kintsugi was probably more like 8B plus. Anyways, Kintsugi, it's a Nalehugataival FA in Red Rock, and one of the coolest boulders I think I've ever seen that's kind of just faded into obscurity for whatever reason. I guess people don't really go to Red Rock to climb anything other than freaking Sleepwalker anymore. So many amazing climbs out there receiving zero love. Like, why aren't there more sends of the Nest? That thing was so cool. I'm on a giant tangent at this point, but for real, go check out this video of Daniel Woods and Jimmy Webb working the Nest. They both do it in completely different ways because of their sizes. It's one of the most interesting bits of bouldering I think I've ever seen. It's sick. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. But anyways, Bryce, congratulations to him for this send. Honestly, the boulder is really, really cool. Hopefully we'll see more sends and the formation of some consensus, because Bryce is no help at all. Like, come on, man. My channel needs controversy and grades. Personally, as a climber, I like the whole don't give a grade opinions thing, but as the owner of a channel that needs views, dude, like, throw me a frickin' bone here, Bryce. What the hell are you doing? And then Jernej Kruder in the news for having gotten the first repeat of Pete Whitaker's Crown Royal, a 9A trad route that's somewhere like way up north. It's in Profilvengen. That's in Norway. I know my geography. Now, Jerny's original intent with this trip was to go for 2 weeks in order to see if he could even do the moves on this thing. But then, to no one's surprise, other than Jernej himself, you know, he did it. By the way, 3 guesses for when he sent. I'll give you a couple of seconds. Did you guess last day? Because if you did, slow clap. How'd you figure? You should become an astrologist predicting the future like that, or a divinate. Professor Trelawney. Anyway, Jernej reportedly found the bottom moves to be a hell of a lot easier than the top, and he spent most of his time working the top moves during the 2 weeks he was on his trip. A trip that was plagued with bad weather, bad conditions, extra gravity, the moon pulling hard from the opposite side of the earth or something, just all the things that kept him from doing it until the last possible second, when he was also sore and tired and kinda wanted to go home. Seriously, man, the pros are just built different. Their willpower just quadruples on the last day, whereas mine just like fizzles out. Anyways, last thing I want to mention, because I kind of feel like I have to at this point, but crack gloves, knee pads, come on, man. Like, yeah, I know that's how Pete Whitaker did it too. That's not my issue. It's just trad climbers are supposed to be the most badass dudes and dudettes in the climbing world. And lately, they're out there looking like the rollerblade kid in the park with the overbearing mom that doesn't let them do anything. Maybe that's just a controversial opinion, but like all those pads and things, they're just a slippery slope down to the aid climbing world. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. And I say that as a boulderer who has no intention of getting on any of this stuff they do. I have no nuts, literally and figuratively. Also no originality either, because I'm absolutely not the first person to ever make that joke. And yes, I'm a first-rate hypocrite. And yes, if you can't tell this is 100% a joke, then you're an idiot. What can I say? I just can't wait for the wide boys to come up with an elbow pad that will help me learn how to off with chicken wing arm bar, whatever the hell they're called, thing. But yeah, congratulations to Jernej Kruder, without a doubt one of the greatest overall climbers in the world, doing one of the most impressive trad climbs in the world. Here's the video of Pete Whitaker doing the FA from a few years back. It's awesome. Definitely check it out. Please don't kill me, trad community, for my jokes, please. You guys are terrifying. And then let's talk Mello uploading a pretty highly anticipated video, the Nikolai Uznik FA of Mount Doom 9A/V70. Definitely worth checking out if you have yet to see it. I think most of the world's 9As are honestly kind of ugly boulders. Like, Burden is awesome, but it's an ugly rock. Return of the Sleepwalker's been loved to death at this point. Megatron is, again, just kind of gross looking in my opinion, as is Spots of Time, no offense to Aiden Roberts. Shaolin is cool, but not necessarily pretty, and No One Mourns the Wicked is more cool than beautiful. Those boulders are kind of like not my thing. Honestly, Alphane might have been the most aesthetic of them all. That is until I saw Mount Doom. I mean, look, I don't know if it's the cinematography, the way this kid climbs, or something else, but damn, this thing is, at least in my opinion, the most aesthetic 9A boulder, and the video is absolutely worth the watch. So seriously, go check it out for sure. It's awesome. But hey, I gotta pass the question on to you. Am I crazy for thinking most 9A boulders just aren't that pretty? How'd you rank them otherwise? Let me know in the comments below. And speaking of highly anticipated videos, Will Bosie's Send of Excalibur also dropped on Friday, and I freaking love that video. Honestly, the humor is great, the narration is hilarious. It's like about as British as Monty Python or balconing. Beautiful stuff. Honestly, seeing Will struggle to clip on one of the hardest sport climbs in the world was everything I needed to feel amazing about myself as someone who does not sport climb like at all. And man, look, personally, I think climbing has a tendency to take itself a little too seriously. It's kind of why I started this channel. I mean, 90% of this sport is just people freaking goofing around in the woods. There's no need to make things overtly dramatic. It's why my favorite real rock videos are the ones that feature all the weird, crazy people just being beautifully silly. Like the Dodo's Delight, which is the best real rock. Fight me. And look, climbing can be anything you want it to be. It can be slow and quiet, like the Rooftown videos, or violent and hectic, like a lot of the stuff Mello's trying to do. I don't think there's a need to define it, and obviously different people will define it in different ways and like different things. But me personally, I think it's a silly and ultimately inconsequential pursuit. It's why I tend to gravitate more towards something like this Excalibur film that doesn't take itself seriously at all, as opposed to the Hamish MacArthur or even Brooke Raboutou poem things. But yeah, I don't know. There's a beauty to how differently people define climbing for themselves. I think it's one of the coolest things about climbing, that it can mean, you know, a million different things to a million different people. All this to say, the Excalibur video was great in my opinion. It lines up perfectly to my own ideas of what climbing is all about. But I gotta pass that question Off to you guys. It's a hard one, but I'm curious to know how you define climbing for yourself. Do you take it seriously? Do you not? And no, I don't think, having a silly sense of humor about climbing means that you can't also have very ambitious goals. Those two are not mutually exclusive by any means. And speaking of things Will Bosi has done, we've got more sends from him, both Pretense of Youth 8C/V15 and Mortal Immortal 8B/V14. And just because at this point Bosi sending 8C is barely news anymore, just want to highlight that this is his 27th V15 boulder problem according to his 8A.NU scorecard. 27th. What? No wonder no one cares when he does hard things anymore. The dude is just completely spoiling us, man. Like, what even is this? Good lord. There's barely even its own section in this video. God. Anyways, I hear he's gonna go try Mount Doom, or he's already tried Mount Doom, and he's gonna be vlogging about it on his YouTube page, so I'll post a link to it so you peeps can sub if you'd like, but also sub to mine. I'll do the same job as the little bell ringer notification thing, and I'll let you know when he uploads. Plus also you get to see me and my stupid face. Whether or not that's a good thing is debatable, but hey, it is what it is. Anyways, congrats to Will on doing more hard stuff below his limit. Yeah, at this point, why even say anything? He called them both soft, so that's cool. And then Janja. Does anyone know if anyone else has ever had a double Onsight day like this? I can't really find any info on double Onsight days. Anyways, look, 2 8C routes Onsighted in a single day. That's 514B in freedom units. That's nuts. And then she has the audacity to post a picture of herself yawning. Bitch, what? And yeah, I know what she was trying to say was, that all that on-sighting tired her out, but come on. We all know she was just yawning because she found it all too easy and uninteresting, and she was basically napping throughout the whole thing. Let's be real here. Also, the irony of the yawn with the Red Bull bag right there. Like, missed marketing opportunity. And look, Janja, if you're watching this and you're not drinking all the free Red Bull your sponsorship undoubtedly gets you, I'll take it. Love me some chemicals. I'll take the sugar-free kind, please, and thank you. Honestly, that goes to any and all other pro climbers sponsored by that stuff. I'll take it all. In fact, let's get Monster in the mix too. Like, I'll sell out in a second. I got room for a fridge back here. The sweet irony of this whole segment is that one of the routes Janja on-sighted is called Working Class Hero. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm too tired to figure it out. Now, had I had a Red Bull on me, things would be different, and the jokes, much like that delicious drink, would be flowing. But alas, it ain't so. And like Janja, who also unsighted the other Misha Pech 8C test piece Osapska Poshast L2, I'm left here yawning, energy left out of my case, making zero money off this stupid sport. Janja's going to Seus. Whatever. And then, is it really newsworthy if it keeps happening? I don't know, but Ondra just flashed yet another 8B boulder. And okay, he's always been incredibly good at flashing stuff. Like, who can forget him flashing Jade, right? You remember that video. Go watch it if you haven't. Here's a link. Dave Graham was so high, he wasn't even 100% sure that he saw what he saw. He wasn't even sure what planet he was on. He actually tries to hide his joint. It's pretty funny. But not the point. Okay, look, there are 3 people who are just a cut above everyone else when it comes to flashing boulders, 8B/V13 and above. Will Bosi, Jimmy Webb, and Ondra. After Vadim Timonov, who's got 9 flashes under his belt, you got McLovin with 12, Big Boy XXL with 15, and then Ondra reigning supreme with 17. Like, seriously, it's like this dude hates bouldering so much he just wants to get it over with as quickly as possible or something. I genuinely, I don't understand. But hey man, look, I keep promising long videos that aren't exactly news, and I promise my how to transition to outdoor bouldering video is almost done. Just finishing up the write-up, but I'm wondering if anyone out there would be interested in a deep dive into the history of climbing flashes. Might be kind of cool to see, figure out who's done what and when. Because, like, do you know who flashed the world's first 8A boulder? Do you even know what boulder that was? I don't. I don't even know if I'll be able to freaking find that info, but I'll try if you want me to. Anyways, Ondra's bouldering while it's getting hotter. For some reason, I don't understand why he would do that to himself, but whatever. It is what it is. Who am I to judge the guy? He can do whatever he likes. Maybe he liked climbing in his underwear more than he'd like to admit and is just looking for an excuse. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Congrats to him though on yet another hard flash. I hope he decides he wants to do 8C/V15 flashed. I really, really do. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. It probably won't even be that hard for him. He's just got to travel around trying them all. He's one of the only people in the world who could probably, take that privilege. One of them will eventually click, I suppose. But hey, that was some climbing news. Thanks as always for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment with opinions, questions, new video suggestions, all that jazz. I will of course see you guys again on Friday at the absolute latest. I know I've been awful about keeping to this damn schedule and keeping my promises and being a good YouTuber and all that. I will be better in the future, but in the meantime, enjoy the rest of the week. And as always, yeah, we'll climb some stuff.